This can cause dementia. Having a brain injury can cause dementia.
As he struggled to remember things, he'd become quite aggressive.
Moved us from a 4-bedroom Mashonite house to a Mabati house round the corner. And he's telling us, Jesus is coming, we don't need all these things. But now he's doing things that do not make sense.
He'd see children playing and he'd stop the car. He wants to go and join them.
Oh.
Thanks for making time for us this lovely afternoon of the 24th of January 2024. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. We do have a lot in store for you in the world of current affairs, business as well as sports. Stick around for the next 1 hour. So my name is Abdiaziz Hashim once more and my co-anchor is Anne Wangeshi. Talk to us on our social media platforms at Abdiaziz Hashim 1 and at KBC Channel 1. And we start at the coastal region where we do understand 9 officials at the Kenya Ports Authority have been arrested over an alleged 62 million shilling fraud. The 9 were arrested by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission detectives based in Mombasa and currently facing charges which include conflict of interest, money laundering, forgery and fraudulent acquisition of public property. They will also be charged with obtaining a contract from a public institution by false pretense, uttering a false document and willful failure to comply with the procurement laws. Still at the coastal city, I'm being informed that the ODM leader Raila Odinga is currently addressing members of the Fourth Estate in terms of the delegates meeting that is currently being carried out by the Azimio chief in that particular region. We also do have our reporter Junei Karisa on that particular bit. But let's get to hear what the ODM leader is currently addressing the members of the ODM from the region. And of course, we do apologize for that particular technical glitch. We'll take you live there once those images come to us. As I told you, the ODM leader Raila Odinga is currently meeting members of the Orange Democratic Movement, which is the ODM, in regards to the recruitment drive that is being carried out across the country. Once we do get those live images, we'll take you there. Now, elsewhere, the national government has confirmed its commitment to transfer all remaining devolved functions to the counties by the end of next month. This is according to the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and SMEs Development, Simon Chelugui, who said that the functions will be transferred as per the Constitution.
Speaking during a meeting with the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee in Naivasha, Nakuru County, Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and SME Simon Chelugui said the national government was committed to a seamless transfer of the remaining functions as enshrined in the Constitution.
There will be sharing of roles, there will be sharing of responsibility, there will be transfer, there will be one level of government ceding one role to the other, depending on capacity of each government.
Chelugui stated that the Commission of Revenue Allocation was working on resources for the pending functions.
Where the functions have been transferred progressively, and also the resources through the CRE, the Commission on Revenue Allocation. I've been charged with that role to align roles, functions and resources.
County governments, of course, will continue with what the Constitution has provided for them, to provide all the services that they need and perform all the functions with the support of the national government as dictated by the Constitution.
On his part, Intergovernmental Committee Chairperson Githinji Kirago held that they will assist in capacity building as part of unbundling of the functions.
This transfer is driven by the Constitution, and that number two, on the other hand, the implementation of the entire transfer is a process so that we cannot disrupt service delivery.
Giverson Minor, Lunchtime News.
Now, I want to take you to that particular live event that is currently ongoing in Mombasa County. We do understand that the ODM party leader, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, is currently addressing members of his party. Let's get to hear what the ODM leader is telling his members.
Judiciary. We've seen what was called the radical surgery of judiciary. When the late President Mwai Kibaki appointed the commission led by Justice Ringera, radical surgery of judiciary. And you know what came out of it? We also saw Richard Rao team, task force on the judiciary. Most of it actually came to naught. It's actually about basically to blackmail and intimidation of the judges so that they can be compliant. There's nothing like radical surgery. If there's supposed to be a reform within the judiciary, it must be done.
Well, that is the ODM leader Raila Amolo Odinga currently addressing members of his party in the coastal city. Our reporter Junei Karisa is following that particular bit, and of course we'll duly inform you in our subsequent bulletins. From the coastal city, I want to bring you back here to the capital and take you to the Milimani Law Courts, where we do understand that we're also following up a story in regards to the Kettle House saga, or the incidences that we witnessed in that particular establishment just this year in terms of the pre-trial, where the bouncers who assaulted journalists, Nakada officials and police officers were before the Milimani Law Courts. I do understand that we do have our reporter Ruth Wamboi on standby. Ruth, good afternoon. If you can hear me, what more can you tell us about this pre-trial case of the bouncers of Kettle House?
Thank you, studio. We are coming to you live from Milimani Law Courts, whereby the Kettle House suspects, the bouncers and the employees of the club, those ones that the court issued 2 weeks ago a warrant of arrest against them. Today, out of the 10 of them, 8 of them appeared before the court. This court that I'm standing here by before trial magistrate Ben Ehubi. The warrant of arrest was issued against 10 of them, but 8 of them honored the court summons and they appeared here today, and 2 did not appear. So our warrant of arrest still remains in force for the 2 that are yet to honor the court summons. Those ones that honor the court summons, the 8 of them, plus the 11 of them that appeared in court last time, took a plea of not guilty against assaulting journalists, Nakada officials and police officers late last year. So the trial magistrate Ben Ehubi has released them on a cash bail of 5,000 each and 2 contact person. So the case is the court has scheduled the case for next month, 15th of February, whereby the 2 that are remaining will have to appear in court then, and the case will begin then, because now the 19 of them have already taken a plea of not guilty. So it is a wait and see situation for this case, as we are following it up closely, and we'll see on 15th of February what will transpire, to see whether the 2 that are yet to honor the court summons will appear then to take a plea before the levels that have been placed against them, and also to see how the case continues from there. Doreen?
Thank you so much. That is our senior court reporter Ruth Wamboi just briefing us on the pre-trial case in the Kettle House incident where bouncers assaulted journalists, NACADA officials and police officers late last year. And of course the case is progressing to the February 15th where we do anticipate the rest of the suspects who are being called upon before the corridors of justice appear before them. Now from the corridors of justice, let's go to the transport sector where the spouse of the Deputy President Pastor Dorcas Rigathi has launched a 2-day free medical camp targeting the boy child during a 3-day tour of Kisii County. The medical camp targets operators in the matatu sector and those addicted to alcoholism, drugs and substance in Kisii County. Speaking during the launch of the event at Kisii Primary School, Pastor Dorcas called on those in the transport sector to shun away from drug and alcohol abuse. She attributed the dependence on alcohol and drugs to a myriad of challenges affecting the family unit. Additionally, she visited Kisii High School and Kisii University, where she continued her campaign for the boy child programs. Kisii Governor Simba Arati acknowledged the transformative work of saving the boy child in the matatu sector and the universities.
Ile mimi ambaye niko nayo ni kufikiria vile nyinyi mnaweza toka kwa hii tabu mko nayo, muachane madawa, muache bangi, muache mapombe na muache kuchoma hizo battery kwa sababu tunahitaji nyinyi. Sasa mtoto kama wewe, my boy children, na mimi unajua mimi nikisimama hapa mambo ile wengine wanasema mimi sina haja nayo, ile na haja nayo ni kuona nyinyi maisha yenu imebadilika.
Nataka nikukaribishe hapa, umeongea wakati umeketi pale vile uko na hamu ya kuhakikisha kwamba jamii inayokuja, kwa sababu vijana wengi hawa watatengeneza familia na hawa watoto wataishi pamoja na sisi. Lazima tuwajibike kama serikali, na serikali kuu na serikali ya ugatuzi.
A section of locals from Mwingi North, Kitui County have accused a cement company for duping them on their land. Now, the locals who live in fear of eviction say it is now 7 years since they signed the land agreement sale, but are yet to receive any payment from the cement farm.
Clustered in small groups, the locals sit with silent faces, with lingering questions on the fate of the ancestral lands.
Tukusaidika, walitunyanyasa kama watoto yatima. Sisi ni kama squatter, hata hatunjui tunaelekea wapi.
Sisi tunaona ni kama tumeshaibiwa land zetu. Tunalilia serikali iangalilie hiyo ni nini inaendelea.
Sasa sijui tunangojea nini? Tunangoja waje watubukuse au tunangojea nini?
It's alleged that 7 years ago, a representative from Savannah Cement toured the limestone-rich Mbangwani area of Chisoward in Mwingi North with intentions to put up a cement manufacturing factory. At the moment, land was being sold at 85,000 Kenyan shillings per acre, and in the second phase, they agreed on selling it at 135,000 Kenyan shillings per acre.
Po mwekezaji mmoja ambaye alikuja kwa jina la Savannah Cement, lakini tukagundua baadaye jina la mnunuzi ni Colban, na ni company ambayo ilikuwa inanunua land kusudi Savannah Cement wajenge kilinga ile ya kutengeneza cement.
Speaking in a sensitization meeting held by the Center for Human Rights and Civic Education, Grace Kasioka says she sold her land and signed an agreement that was to expire in 30 days. She was told to wait for payment in 48 hours, which never materialized.
Kuna watu walikuja huku naweza waita matafeli. Walikuja huku wakatuambia eti watatununulia shamba letu. Mimi kama mimi binafsi niliambiwa fomu yenye nilikuwa na sign nitagoja tu 48 hours pesa yangu iingie kwa account. Na kutoka siku hiyo mpaka wa leo hii tu hatunjapata hata report ya eti pesa tutapata ama land zetu siko wapi.
Tulikuwa tukidhani tunaweza saidika kupitia hizo mineral, lakini hakuna usaidizi.
Jambo moja ambalo lanikera akili yangu kwamba sina title deed kwa muda, na si mimi peke yangu, tuko watu kama 100 hatuna title deed.
They're now calling on the government to intervene, casting the blame on the leaders for turning a deaf ear to their plight. Serafina Robi for Lunchtime News.
Still within the region, it is a sigh of relief to residents of Kwakavo in Kalama, Machakos County, following the construction of a borehole by a non-governmental organization, Project Maji. Now, the borehole will be located at Kwakavo Primary School in Machakos County, and it will serve community members in the area and the neighboring schools. Upon completion, the residents will be charged 2 shillings per 10-litre jerrycan for its maintenance.
Mpango wa kusaidia wenyeji wa Kwakavo kwa jumla, hata wa kutoka mbali, kwa sababu maji ni mengi, wameona ni mengi na wataleta maji.
Tutapata maji hapa shule na tupate hata chakula tulime. Itakuwa ni project mzuri sana na watu wengi watabenefit.
We try and find communities where there are schools, and we find beautiful schools like this in Machakos County where fantastic kids, great level of education, but they are being hindered by not having a regular access to water. So we hope we can solve that.
The family of the National Police Reservist who was killed during the Sunday banditry attack at Morijo area of Samburu County is demanding justice for their kin. The family says he was their sole breadwinner, leaving them in a precarious position. The attack comes barely a week after another attack was reported in Poro area where at least 200 heads of cattle were stolen.
The killing of the National Police Reservist on Sunday at Morijo area of Samburu County has left the family staring at tough times ahead, as he was the sole breadwinner in the family. Unable to comprehend how life ahead will look like for them, members of the family are now demanding justice for their kin.
Sida kama hii, sije kama tutaponea. Watoto wetu ni wengi, sisi tuko watatu. Watoto wote ni 19.
Area leaders led by former Samburu North Member of Parliament Alois Lentoimaga and former Samburu Woman Representative Maison Leshomo visited the family of the deceased and called on the government to flush out the bandits to end incessant killings.
Kile tumeona katika kwa iboma, tumeona maajabu kubwa, kwa sababu huyu mpendwa yetu Leswei one driver ya Rangers.
Kwa hiyo tunasema kwamba tumeshoka sana, tunahitaji action ishukuliwe, kwa sababu tumeshoka kusika watu. Tumeshoka kusika watu ambaye wangesaidia inji. Huyu marehemu ako na watoto karibu 10 na kitu, na wote wako shule.
The attack comes barely a week after another attack was reported in Poro area where at least 200 heads of cattle were stolen. None of the stolen livestock has been recovered. Tilio Marco for Lunchtime News.
Religious leaders in Isiolo County have decried the continued delay in disbursement of funds meant for bursaries, which they say is causing delays in admission of students from poor backgrounds. The leaders are now calling on the government to ensure prompt release of the resources allocated to the National Government Constituency Development Fund and the devolved governments for ease of access to services. Led by their chairman of the National Council of Churches of Kenya in Isiolo County, Reverend Nathan Maingi, noted that several students are yet to join secondary schools owing to the lack of funds.
Hawakuingia katika kidato cha kwanza kwa sababu ya hali ya umaskini na kukosa pesa, na hili jambo sugu ambalo ni la CDF ambao haijatoka, wazazi wengi hawakusaidika. Tunaomba mbunge wetu na pia idara zile ambazo zinahusika za county ambao zinaweza saidia watu wetu kupata pesa ili school fees ipatikane ya watoto wetu.
Kuna watoto wengi bado hatujaweza kufikisha ile transition ya 100% transition. That means from primary school to secondary school to university or tertiary institution. Kama hatutaweza kuconsolidate hizi fund za basari, mzazi aweze kujua ni basari gani inapatikana kwa wakati huu ili waweze kujipanga na kuweza kujua mtoto ataenda shule wakati gani.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Women Teachers Association has inked a deal with a local bank and a water tank manufacturing company to distribute water tanks to teachers across the country. K-Water CEO Bento Pandey said the acquisition and distribution of the water tanks to the association of members is a transformative initiative aimed at enhancing the welfare and economic situation of female teachers in the country. Now, speaking during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding at the factory in Ruiru, Kiambu County, Opande noted that over 10,000 water tanks will be distributed to teachers based in the arid and semi-arid areas of the country this year.
A lot of our teachers have narrated to us how they are spending a lot of time looking for water instead of being in the classroom. And when they miss class time with the students, then the students miss not only the psychological support that they need because the teacher herself is stressed, but they also miss time to do their work.
We are an approved lender to TSC, so it is very easy for them to access the loans to the tune of 6 million. And on our PESAP application, the app, they can actually access 300,000 very easily, which will cover most of the cost of these tanks.
And now to the health sector. Stakeholders in the healthcare sector have called on the government to initiate comprehensive programs aimed at combating the threats posed by cancer and COVID-19 diseases. Now, the call to action came in the wake of a Pan-African Care, a non-profit organization commitment in fostering awareness with a specific focus on combating the threats posed by the emerging diseases. Now, Pan-African Care organized a workshop in Makueni County, bringing together healthcare professionals, county government officials and community leaders to strategize and empower local communities with the knowledge about preventive measures, early detection and access to medical resources. The organization, in partnership with Makueni County government, will offer vaccination services for HPV and COVID-19 for school-going children from the age of 12.
This is a cervical cancer awareness month. And as a partner, we want to leverage on this. And as we pass awareness on issues of cervical cancer, in the month of February, we have planned for a big event whereby we are going to organize for not only cervical cancer screening, but also screening for all the non-communicable diseases.
Now, as the world celebrates the International Day of Education, 27-year-old Daniel Nderitu believes in the pivotal role of education, especially in the realms of innovation and research. 4 years ago, Nderitu, a beneficiary of the Kenya Youth Employment Program, noticed the growing challenge of waste management in cities. Underrated, he embarked on a journey to tackle this problem, leading to the invention of a groundbreaking solar-powered intelligent bin.
We pass the scenic green views as we make our way into Nakuru. Here, we find the machine that is changing the narrative in waste management. Nderitu's solution to addressing the increasing waste disposal problem lies in a solar-powered bin, complete with sensors. Yeah. He has maximized on the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence technology to revolutionize waste disposal.
It uses an IR system to sense. Ukieka mkono, for example, for instance here, you can see, ukieka mkono at a distance inajifungua, arafu ukitoa inajifunga.
According to the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, major cities in Kenya generate about 6,000 tons of waste daily, with a significant portion remaining uncollected. But that's not all. Nderitu is also working on a smart backpack that incorporates audio-visual capabilities to assist disabled persons. This backpack communicates with the deaf through vibration on mobile phones and warns the blind using proximity sensors, enhancing safety.
This bag is connected to the phone. So ukipata alert kwa simu yako inakwambia there is something behind you. So utaingia uangalie ni nini iko behind you. Ukiingia utaangalia kama ni gari ama ni nini iko behind you.
Nderitu emphasizes the dual impact of his innovations, recycling electronic waste for environmental safety and promoting hygienic waste disposal. His inventions made from discarded electronic parts address crucial issues of plastic pollution and environmental protection.
Nilikuja na idea nikaona kuna vitu ambavyo zinadampiwa na za electronics. Unapata mtu radio yake imekuwa used, imekuwa old, anaenda anaichukua na idump pale kwa dustbin. So mi wanaenda nachukua zote hizo vitu zenye zimedampiwa na angalia zile ambazo zinaweza nisaidia kwa si zote zimeharibika.
The solar powered smart bin is designed for county governments, schools, public parks, airports and various public spaces. Its automatic sensor opens up the bin upon motion detection, offering convenient and hygienic waste disposal.
Tulipata mingi zenye ziko kwa soko saizi ni zile za kukanyanga. Ukikanyanga ndio inafunguka. Assume huyo mtu ako kwa wheelchair hana mguu. So atafanya aje?
Nderitu says he faced challenges in building the prototype as well as patenting his innovation. He says despite the hurdles, he did not give up in his journey to protect the environment and make a positive contribution to society.
In 2030, teknolojia yetu itakuwa imefika hapa. Mimi ningependa sana niwe mmoja wa wale ambao watafanya hiyo teknolojia ifike hapa. Any kind of support ambayo president unaweza nisaidia nayo, any kind of support, I will totally appreciate.
Joan Junge for Lunchtime News.
Innovation at its best. Now, elsewhere, residents and leaders in Baringo County want some clauses in the affordable housing bill relooked at. The locals are in particular questioning the 10% deposit required for one to own a unit as discriminatory and will edge out those in the lower income bracket. The National Assembly Finance Committee continued to collect views on the proposed housing bill. The Kimani Kuria-led committee pitched tent in Baringo County, where locals gave their views in the proposed bill.
Why do we need to create another agency when we have the mother agency that has always been taxed since independence to cater for housing problems for our people?
What I have seen in the bill is the 10%. Why do we not include even the 90% to know how we are supposed to pay? And in case of anything that happens, the principal member happens not to be there.
The residents and leaders voiced their concerns over the bill, specifically the clause that mandates a 10% deposit of its unit's value, saying it will be a barrier to many.
I think there will be a very big disparity because I look at that cook in a school who has been remitting levy over the years and would also want to benefit from these houses. And they are not going to raise the 10% of the total value of that house.
However, residents in Baringo, a predominantly rural county with high poverty rates, fear the bill in its current form will exclude them from its intended benefits.
And Kenyans are agreeing that for you to be allocated a house, you need to have shown commitment. But however, they're saying that the 10% is too high. So we look at it, and because it is we are saying that you can even start paying for that house way before it is allocated to you. So these are all the things that we look at.
Community leaders and residents urge the committee to consider amending the bill to make it more inclusive and accessible. And in other news, the Ministry of Environment is calling for a collaborative approach from both the public and the private sectors in steering climate action countrywide. Forestry Principal Secretary Gitonga Mugambi says the ministry has in the past year focused on strengthening tree seed production and distribution countrywide, now streamlining 12 ministries, departments and agencies to scale up seedlings production to scale the tree growing countrywide. Now Mugambi spoke during the launch of the Regreening Kenya project, pledged the ministry's support in growing a targeted 80,000 fruit trees. Now the project is a partnership between the Child Fund and Dow Chemical Company that seeks to improve resilience and adaptability of women and children in the counties of Kajiado, Makueni and Nairobi to counter the impact of the climate change.
We are pleased that we can leverage from such partnership which will go a long way to contributing to Kenya Kwanza bottom-up economic transformation.
We also see an opportunity that the private sector going to be catalyzing the government initiatives, specifically for translating into employment opportunities, bring social cohesion, as well as protecting the existing resources that we have in the country.
It is not the number of trees you plant on the ground, but on the people's mind. So if you plant with children, you plant in their mind also. And because apart from planting, we are well known for taking care of them. I can tell you the 130,000 trees President planted during the tree planting day, all are surviving.
We hope to plant 130,000 tree seedlings, which are going to provide an income for the youth and women, which are going to green our environment, which are going to also teach the young people and green their minds about the future.
29 minutes past the hour on KBC Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. We still have more news for you on the other side of the break. Don't go too far.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
You know me. Nilikujua siku hiyo. Ulienda kwa registrar motor vehicle ukajua gari ni yangu. Hiyo haikuwa kazi yangu. No, ndio mimi nauliza wewe. Sasa mimi hapo na hapo kumbe nilikuwa nimegundua my eyes is not see. Why? So inamaanisha kuwa inamaanisha kuwa wewe
Sasa wewe ulikunywa gani?
Mimi nilikunywa hiyo kili mimi. Hebu niangalie vizuri uniambie kama unanijua.
Anakuangalia na nini? Hii ni kazi ya Mungu. Kwa sababu aliambia pasta wetu ameokoka.
Niliokoka kuanzia hapo
kwanza. Pale ulipopotea macho?
Pale nilipotezea macho nikaokokea hapo.
Na macho yakirudi?
Macho yakirudi tutafikiria hiyo maneno mheshimiwa.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, women-led business proprietors in the East African community are being sensitized on the existence of simplified trade and border procedures that can support their businesses. East African Women in Business Platform Chair, that is Elizabeth Thande, says the forum seeks to identify the latest challenges facing women-led business ventures and propose a policy recommendation.
Logistical challenges and the different tax regimes in the East African community are among key issues affecting women-led businesses. To bridge the gap, East African Women in Business platform has partnered with the German development agency GIZ to train women on trade and equip them with technical skills to tap business opportunities. Industry players are calling on SMEs to take advantage of the simplified trade regime to deepen participation in cross-border trade.
The EWIP continues to play its role in strengthening the participation of women-led SMEs in regional integration to realize the mission and vision of the EAC.
The training will also see women equipped with skills to tap regional and continental business opportunities.
The training will come in handy in terms of enhancing our skills in how to go around these challenges as a business that is buying from across the region.
Ndutamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
A section of tourism stakeholders in Narok County have embraced the revised rates at the Masai Mara National Park, saying the increased rates will support management of resources at the park. The government in October 2023 announced the new fees for tourists to the park for up to $200 per 12-hour ticket for an international visitor starting January 2024. The tourism investors now say the value of Mara tourism products is worth the fee and urged visitors who may not afford a holiday stay at the Mara to take advantage of the budget accommodation in the county.
The game reserve, I think it's affordable because they also need resources to manage and preserve the game reserve. They call them ranches or community leaseholds. So they have really protected that heritage, so much so that tourism is very safe. You can go and do community tourism. You can go and do the hybrid game drive. There is also I've forgotten the name really, the balloons, hot balloons in the Mara. And the people are very receptive.
And on the international front, Netflix sign-ups boomed at the end of last year as customers prodded by the firm's crackdown on password sharing created their own accounts. The streaming giant added more than 13.1 million subscribers in their 3 months ended in December. Now details of this and other stories in the news around the globe.
Netflix said it was confident in its growth path and was planning to raise prices with the Q4 2023 subscriptions hitting record highs since 2020, extending a streak of growth that started last year. Many of its new members opted for the company's cheapest plan, undeterred by the prospect of seeing advertisements. Netflix said in the 12 countries where it offers adverts, which include some of the biggest markets such as the UK and US, the plan accounted for 40% of the new sign-ups. The gains are an iconic twist for a firm that resisted calls to sell ads for years, saying such a move would hurt the viewer experience and complicate its business with privacy risks and other issues. Elsewhere, a German software firm SAP SE unveiled a €2 billion restructuring plan covering 8,000 roles on Tuesday as it seeks to better focus on growth in artificial intelligence AI-driven business areas. SAP expects generative AI to fundamentally change its business and has pledged to invest more than $1 billion while opening new tab in AI-powered technology startups via its enterprise capital firm Sapphire Ventures. The company said it plans the restructuring to help better focus on key growth areas such as business AI. The restructuring program will be implemented majorly through voluntary leave programs and internal reskilling measures. Finally, the Bank for International Settlements BIS, known as the Bank for Central Banks, announced the first batch of 6 new projects focusing on cybersecurity, fighting financial crime, digital currencies and green finance. Acknowledging that disruptive technologies are transforming finance worldwide, BIS officials underlined the importance of understanding their policy implications for monetary authorities. In November 2023, the BIS launched a new data portal to improve the availability and accessibility of international banking statistics and other financial indicators to bring greater insights and analysis into efforts to achieve financial stability and global liquidity.
Some pastoralists in Laikipia County are diversifying to horticultural crops, focusing on cultivation of hybrid bean variety as adverse effects of climate change livestock. Here is Benson Rioba with the details.
A group of farmers in Laikipia County, who were previously pastoralists, are reaping big from embracing bean production. The farmers say the hybrid bean variety is fast maturing and yields are higher when compared to traditional bean varieties.
Tutaweza kuifanya ile eneo, hakuna sehemu hatuwezi fanya. Na tumeshaona, tumejaribu. Watu wengi wa kuamini tunaweza ifanya, lakini tumeshafanya hivyo.
In an acre, a farmer can harvest up to 10 bags as compared to an average of 4 bags from other bean seed varieties.
Kukuja nimepata maharagwe imeiva vizuri sana. Hata nikaifungua hivi ndio nihakikisha kama hiyo maharagwe hata imejaza. Na ni ukweli kabisa hiyo maharagwe imefanya vizuri na hata haijakausha, hata ile majani yake haijakausha.
Ilipandwa hii maharagwe, tunaona ni maajabu sana, imetoka vizuri na tujaona hata mvua ya maana yenye imenyesha, ni vile tu ile fertilizer ndio ilitusaidia tu.
The farmers have been trained on how to use organic fertilizer and other climate smart agricultural practices.
But it's regenerative fertilizer. What it does, it needs to feed the soil, and then the soil itself is going to feed the plant itself.
Farmers have also been advised to consider procuring certified seeds from accredited dealers. Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
And now finally, let's play. The indomitable Lions of Cameroon came from behind with 2 late goals to reach the last 16 of the 2023 African Cup of Nations after beating Gambia 3-2 in a thriller to knock their opponents out of the tournament. Meanwhile, defending champions Teranga Lions of Senegal secured a top spot in Group C after beating the national team of Guinea 2-0, an ill-tempered encounter of that particular game. Here's
between the Gambia and Cameroon doesn't suit either team as the header comes in from Cole Tokwe-Kambi. He scores his first goal against the Gambia in 3 matches, and Cameroon are on their way into the knockout stages. Delivery, and the Gambia have their first goal of this AFCON. They are back on level terms, and it is Abdoulaye Diallo who has his 3rd AFCON goal across 2 editions. Delivery in towards Cisse. He's onside. The Gambia might very well have won it here. Stuck away by Ibrahima Koli off the bench and into the record books potentially. And maybe a sweet victory to end the campaign. Chato delivers. Oh, turned in. An unfortunate own goal. Cameroon still have a chance. They need a winner. It might come here, and it does potentially, by Christopher Wu. This has been an emotional roller coaster, and while the Gambia was celebrating a potential winner mere minutes ago, it is the Cameroonians who now get to celebrate.
Still with AFCON, Palancas Negras of Angola beat the Stallions of Burkina Faso 2-0 to clinch a top spot in Group D at the 2023 African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. In another match, Desert Foxes of Algeria crashed out of the 2023 African Cup of Nations as Mauritania's Lions of Chigueti claimed a famous first ever 1-0 win at the finals to snatch a spot in the last 16.
Bruno Paz, Toconaro. Twisting one way and then the other. Oh, Edo nearly caught him there. Bruno Paz just playing it forward again.
Eddie goes in, fully committed. Play on, says the referee. Gelson Dala, we've seen very little of him. In it comes from Freddie as they jostle in the box, and it's headed into the back of the net, and Mamalulu has opened the scoring. And it is now surely a bridge too far for Burkina Faso. Thought here he would lay it back to show Jeremy Bella, but he didn't. Bit of swerve on the ball.
Charging run. Suleiman Ann inside that 18-yard area. Tight angle. Mandrea with a caution you, it seemed. Jump from the corner. Curling ball. Mandrea punches it away. Long range effort. Spilled and could be. Mauritania have the lead. A 37th minute strike.
Now, Ghana has sacked coach Chris Hughton after their group stage exit from the 2023 African Cup of Nations. The Black Stars finished on 2 points in Group B, drawing 2-2 with both Egypt and Mozambique, and a 2-1 defeat by Cape Verde in their opener. Now, Hughton had been appointed as Ghana head coach in February last year. Former Newcastle United and Brighton boss Hughton replaced Otto Addo as boss after Addo stepped down following the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where Ghana finished bottom of Group H with 1 win from the 3 matches. Now, Chelsea empathetically overturned a 1-0 Carabao Cup first leg deficit with a 6-1 victory over Championship side Middlesbrough in the second leg match played at Stamford Bridge. Blues coach Mauricio Pochettino says that he is desperate to win his first trophy in English Football League after leading them to the Carabao final.
To keep it away from Crooks, and that's a lovely pass as well. And here's Raheem Sterling, back for Breuer, 1-0 Chelsea. And Burrows. They might be able to get on the end of this as well. Cut back for Breuer. There's Enzo Fernandez. It's 2. 3-0 is a different story though. And here's Sterling. Abdiaziz continued his run.
Well, of course, that marks the end of our bulletin this lovely afternoon. Do join us in our subsequent bulletins at 7 and 9. But remember, AFCON, KBC, and of course, those mouth-watering clashes as we do anticipate for the round of 16 of the AFCON continues. For now, good afternoon. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. My co-anchor is Anne Wangeshi.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future. Together. EcoBank. A better way. A better Africa.
welcome to the Stade de la Paix in Bouake. This is the second largest city in Côte d'Ivoire, the host nation for the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023. We're just about set for a Group C encounter as the Gambia and Cameroon meet.